use cases of Web3 through DePIN.
Hello everyone, Daniel from DePIN Hub here. Today we're interviewing Laser Dane, the CEO and co-founder of Starpower. Imagine a world where every household could not just consume energy, but actively participate in its production and distribution. This isn't a futuristic fantasy. It's the vision Laser Dane is turning into reality through Starpower. Thanks so much for joining the podcast. It's been really nice to see you all over the world in different events. I think we met in Asia, we met in Denver. It's been really cool to see the progress of the project as well. And it's a pleasure to have you today on the podcast to talk about Starpower and what you are doing. Can you tell a bit about yourself, your background, and your role in Starpower?
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Definitely, I think for the past 2 years, first we met in Denver, in the Autotax event. You just met this same group of people in the different place all around the world. Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Laser, the co-founder and CEO of Starpower, and so I'm more in charge of the Web3 part, and we are an energy DePIN project, and we focused on connecting energy devices and build an energy network. So in the current, the current energy system, we have renewable energies getting installed more and more, and then they are causing volatilities to the power grid. On the other side, we have the AI, which are asking for never-ending electricity. So they are also causing huge pressure on power grid. So the solution to that is a virtual power plant. I know it's quite a niche concept for Web3 people, but it's actually a huge and emerging opportunity for the energy industry.
Yeah, electricity is a very, very important topic, and I really like DePIN projects that are trying to go after that, right? Because it's a problem that a lot of people don't feel it so much, but I think the more and more that, for example, AI, it's people complain about Bitcoin using a lot of electricity. Just wait until we get to the AI, because that's way more than everything is going to do to actually mine Bitcoin, right? Tell us a little bit about your journey to come to the idea, okay, actually I'm going to build a DePIN project that's going to try to go after, this energy crisis and energy problems. And what happened to you to get to this point?
I previously worked in Hashkey group since day one, and before that, I worked in an experiment company called Wanxiang. We were the early investor into Ethereum. In 2015, we invested $500,000, and then we set up the Hashkey group, which now is a leading crypto exchange and also other businesses in Asia. And I personally left that big platform in 2022 and started my own journey, be a founder, fully focused on energy DePIN. And for that transition, it's quite it's like I just followed my personal interest and dive into this energy rabbit hole. At that time, I was doing some business like collecting data from solar panels and put that on chain, mix that into carbon credit. I think you know some background on myself about that journey, and then I read a lot reports and talk to so many people about it from the energy industry, and I found that hey, there was a huge opportunity which is caused by solar panels, and that challenge can be perfectly solved by the model kind of created by Helium. So I just go directly to the VPP, virtual power plant, and I set up the Starpower since Q1 last year. So we have been building this for almost 2 years. Yeah. So but to make Starpower workable, plausible, I found my friend Dr. Darcy. He's a veteran in the energy industry, and he's a PhD in photovoltaics. Most importantly, he's mentored by the inventor of solar panels. So we two are now building this energy DePIN project.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenging thing as well, right? Like understanding there's so many levels. Electricity, energy is such an old market as well, right? We've been using electricity for hundreds of years, and now it's such a big thing that you need to. It's very hard to say, how can I say, it's very hard to disrupt right? So you really need the power, community power of something that only like decentralized infrastructure can actually tackle, right? So let's say you have one device, or what is like the product line you're trying to release, and what do you have right now, or what's coming up?
As you said, energy industry is quite old, and at the same time, it's also quite big. I think it might be one of the oldest industry, maybe almost 150 years. And I think it is also the biggest industry in the world right now. So for us, how to I don't think we are disrupting this industry. We are more like organic add up to this something that we can play with. Yeah, yeah. So we initially launched our first product, which is a plug, a smart plug, and smart plug is for the energy consumption scenario. And then earlier last month we launched our second product, which is a battery. It's the same as Tesla's Powerwall. So for battery, it's for the energy storage scenario, and later we will gradually integrate more type of energy devices like solar panels, EV chargers. But we are more like a backend protocol. We don't make any device. We just integrate with third parties device to leverage our resources in this energy device manufacturer industry. So we have a lot of our alumni in the for battery in the tier one battery manufacturers. So we are cooperating with them and kind of Web3 their products to let their product let their battery to mine crypto token for their user. So this is also another reason why we try to um, use this go-to-market strategy and to onboard Web3. To onboard Web2 people into Web3 world. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, you don't need to build the whole technology. Like the manufacturer is something that's very, very complicated and takes a lot of time. Let those people actually take care of what they do best, and then just like integrate the Web3, connect the blockchain on that side. How hard? I mean, you are in China, right? So let's say the most of the manufacturing happens in the China. How has been the acceptance of those companies into opening their products to Web3?
On the one side, we we have some connections with most of the battery manufacturers. Some of them, our alumni, work there as C-class manager. And currently, we are working with one. It's called eCactus. It's run by a roommate of my co-founder. So, which is super easier for us to imagine a Web2 battery manufacturer cooperating with a Web3 project. It's so hard. So we cooperate with the eCactus as our first partner and leverage their manufacturing power and their distribution channels. And our second partner is will be of ESS. It used to be the number one market share owner in Australia and also in Europe for some time. So this is our advantages. And the other side is because this kind of business is like B2B, so you need to give them some real world value. So what our strategy is because our TGE is quite soon. So after TGE, we will have the token price, and we want to use token to bring our partner more users, customers. So which means we can help them sell more battery, and simultaneously we can help their customer have weekly free money from crypto. And for us, we as a network, we can have scale the network faster and have a bigger user base. So it's like a win-win-win for the three entities in this scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the vision for the near future, right? You're gonna have the TGE, and right now we have the power plug. Let's talk a little bit about that device. What does it do? And let's say, if you're a user, why would you use it for?
Yeah, I need to explain a bit about the business, the virtual plant business. So help your audience to understand better about our product. So for wash pipeline business, basically it means it often happens during peak load hour, which during that hour the demand side is over supply side. So you need to help the power grid to be stabilized, either supply extra electricity or reduce demand in that region. So plug is for the energy consumption reduction during that peak load hour. So for example, like we have 1,000 plugs in Sydney, Australia, which is our primary market, and all of them are connected with AC air conditioner. So on average, the 1,000 plugs can have 1 MWh energy consumption and our control, which means we during that peak load hour we will let our users know, hey, currently we have a emergent task for you, whether you would like to power off for just 1 hour to help your Sydney power keep going. So, and then after this event, we will do the calculation who respond to our task, and then we will get paid by the Sydney utilities, and then we will share that revenue with our users. So this is like the business logic. And for our users, for them, they can treat that as just normal smart plugs, and they can use that as saving some electricity cost and smartly and remotely control their home appliances. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see that there's a lot of things that you can do with the smart plug, right? I really like this idea of being able to turn on and off things through my phone, and also measure the power consumption, because maybe I want to plug ASIC miner. No, just kidding. I can put some computer or the air conditioning or something, and I can actually check from the phone what is the consumption over time of that device. And I really like the way that you're tackling this, because there's this idea of smart grid. The smart grid was the idea that every home appliance is connected to the electricity grid. And because one thing that's very important that I think a lot of people don't know is that we can not store a lot of energy, right? Of course, have home battery, the Tesla battery, the Starpower battery in the future, but it's still electricity got to be generated at the time of usage. So basically, if you have a lot of consumption at 1 p.m., that means that the electricity needs to be generated that time for that load. So the peak is always the issue, right? For example, I know that London, I think the tea time is one of the worst times, because everybody's using an electric kettle to heat up their water to make tea. So that's a crazy thing. So if you can actually use the same amount of energy but avoid the peaks, that's what can really save a lot of costs. And that's one issue that happens a lot in California, because during summer it's very hot. Everybody has their AC on all the time. So if you can reduce the peaks and even out the chart, that you can reduce costs and make the electricity bill easier and cheaper, and overall make a lot of improvements. And I really like the way that you're talking about gamification, that you can, because people don't necessarily have the equipment that's already applied into the smart grid, or even the smart grid doesn't exist yet the way that people have been envisioning for the past, say, 20 years, right? So if you can actually just tell people, okay, do this right now, you're going to get a kickback on tokens for doing that. And then the power supplier company is going to reduce their cost. They're going to give you part of that savings to you, and you direct that to the user. Is that more or less the idea behind it?
Definitely, yeah, you are quite sharp. And I can see you have many insights in this distributed energy industry, I guess.
I mean, I'm an electrical engineer, so besides computers and backend and hardware development, I really like how everything worked, and I did some work in the past on the idea of smart grid, so I have an idea and more or less how it works. And I just like tech and understand how things work, I guess. So would you say that your main revenue model is selling that, helping release the load for energy providers, or there's something else as well?
I would like to use Tesla as an example to explain. So Tesla, they have been selling devices, mostly battery Powerwall, in Australia. And for the past 10 years, they have installed tens of thousands, maybe 20,000 Powerwall in Australia. And after 10 years sales and installation, earlier this year, they applied a utility license, which means they can independently operate their batteries in Australia and provide those batteries capacity to the power grid. And they can earn revenue from that kind of service. So you can see we actually follow the similar pattern. So Tesla, previously they are focusing on revenue from the device sales, and gradually when they have enough capacity, like users there hit the revenue threshold, they will generate the revenue from the software layer, which is the virtual power plant business. So like for us currently, primarily we focus on device sales and connections. So most of our revenue are from the plugs and batteries. And later, I think by late maybe next year, at end of next year, we will have revenue from the in Sydney from the virtual power plant business. And so for the past 6 months, we have generated over $1 million revenue from the device sales, and that number we foresee will hit between 5 million to 10 million, but most of that will comes from the battery sales in the next 1 year.
Yeah, I guess batteries are much more expensive, have a bigger margin as well on them, right? I really like this idea of like having these battery packs that you have at home to supply energy to the grid as well whenever there's a demand. Because even the cars, right? I think that's another idea with the Tesla that didn't have the software on top, is that your car may be parked in the garage for a week, you're traveling, you're not using that, so the car is charged. Why you not charge the car when electricity is very cheap and sell that to the grid when it's higher, more expensive, the bigger demand? So then you automatically, your car is making money for you while you are, on your holiday. And the same thing you can do for those battery packs that you're talking about, right? Can you tell me what are the roadmap for Starpower? Where are you right now? And how do you see the project going 2025 and beyond?
So we have been building this for 2 years, and we've finished most of the R&D, product design, IoT, blockchain stuffs in the last 1 year, and we started marketing since middle of this year. So we are coming to the end of our testnet, and the TJE will be in Q1 next year. So but these are the Web3 angle. And for the next 1 year in 2025, our main focus will be on Web2, which I mentioned, we want to integrate 80% of the battery manufacturers in the next 1 year. And so to expand our user base and our onboarding channels to Web2 people, which we believe is most meaningful solution we could provide, not just for distributed energy virtual power plant, but also for Web3. We believe this is like most DePIN projects. We want to be like a bridge between Web2 and Web3, onboard Web2 people to Web3 seamlessly. Yeah,
that's good. That's more or less like the same goal that we have doing different things. With DePIN Hub, we're trying to onboard a lot of people into crypto through, DePIN projects like Starpower. You told me you guys have the TGE coming up soon as well, right? Can you talk a little bit about the tokenomics behind it? When TGE, like when token, right? And what is on the Web3 side of things, what's coming up?
Sure. Yeah. So in terms of the tokenomics, so that will be like two parts. One part is about the supply side. We integrate our experience and expertise in the virtual power plant energy industry into the tokenomics. So we reward our users, supply side users. We based on their connection, their capacity, and their response to make the whole network efficiently respond to the tasks from the demand side. And for our revenue side, tokenomics, we use the revenue from the device, from the virtual power plant business to buy back and burn the token. to like accrue the value to the token price. And yeah, the TG will be like Q1 next year, and we are in discussion with exchanges. So we will announce that like maybe in January or February. Yeah.
Which layer one or layer two are you building on top, and why did you choose that blockchain?
Yeah, we are building on Solana, and we are also like a winner of Solana Hackathon, and also yeah, we were invested by Solana Venture in our last round, just closed like last month. Yeah, so we are very bullish on Solana since day one, and since like almost 2 years ago, and we chose Solana because at that time, Helium they migrate to Solana, and Helium is like I think it's still the biggest DePIN projects. It has 1 million during the all-time high devices. So I think that's a good reference for us to choose Solana, and then we just yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely Solana is a great ecosystem, right? There's a lot of products building on them. Although they're not EVM compatible, they're SVM. But I think it's still I think it's a comfortable and good ecosystem to build on the engineering side as well, and then the user perspective. The wallets, the phantom wallet, super easy to work with, etc. That's awesome. Like, what else would you like to tell the listeners? And what do they do to keep up with Starpower updates?
I'm super glad to be here. We know each other for quite a long time, and you guys are doing really amazing works in DePIN, a very like alpha mind in this. I mean, in the general Web3 industry, you are one of the first mover, and we appreciate that. So, and for your audience, I assume most of them are like the DJ in DePIN. So I would like to share some offer. One is like we believe energy is like one of the biggest subsector in DePIN, and I also believe this is the most promising subsector in DePIN for this bull run, and we are one of the largest energy DePIN projects right now, and I think we are also like mentioned by Masari. Their annual report like yesterday. Yeah, together we have like low daylight and Fuse with us. So yeah, just stay tuned. We will announce some big news about fundraising and the listings stuffs in the coming weeks.
Yeah, no, you heard it here first. Make sure to follow in Starpower. I'm gonna post all the links for the social network, social media, X, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Everything is also on DePIN Hub. So you go to deepinhub.io, check Starpower on the platform. I'm gonna post this episode as well there. And everything that's happening, all the news, updates, and stuff, we can check on our DePIN Hub Discord. And of course on Laser's website is the starpower.world, is it right? It's a really, really nice website, and I'm super, super bullish about this project, about energy and decentralized infrastructure. And remember, we're early. There's a lot of cool things coming up and happening in the DePIN ecosystem. So, as you know, being early is opportunity. So make sure to always tune in. Go to deepinhub.io, subscribe to the newsletter. I think that's a very important one because we're going to be promoting all the TGs, all the updates on the ecosystem. And yeah, I just want to thank you so much for joining the podcast today. It's a pleasure to talk to you here for our audience, and also I'm sure I'm gonna see you very soon in some other conference around the world, right?
Yeah, yeah, it will be a very busy year for us.
Yes. Oh boy, you should, now that it's Christmas time, it's like holiday. You should try to take like 1 or 2 weeks to like slow down. We're not gonna stop, but hopefully can slow down a little bit, spend some time with family, because 2025 is gonna be a very, very epic year. It's gonna be crazy. Let's go. Let's continue building because new things are not gonna build it by itself. So thanks so much for joining everyone on the podcast, and yeah, have a great time. Thank you, man.